Assalamu alaikum. I'm Noshin Sarwat, lecturer of biology, Narwal Public School and College, Narwal. Welcome to O-level class. You all students has done your 7th grade successfully. You have given your examinations and secured very good marks, and now you are promoted to your next grade. For the further studies, you have adapted the Cambridge system of learning. The Cambridge system of learning is known as the O level. This is actually the 0 level, and the next level is the A level. The subject of biology in O level has paper code 5090. I repeat, your paper code is 5090. The Cambridge programs and qualifications are designed to support learners in becoming confident. The students of O levels are very much confident in their working. What they are performing, they perform them that very confidently. They are very confident about the informations that they have, and they are very confident about their own ideas. The students are very much responsible. They are responsible for themselves. They know how to manage their time, how to fulfill their duties, and they are very much respectful for the others also. These students are very reflective, means they are very reflective as learners. They know how to develop their abilities of learning. How can they improve the process of learning during the studies? They are very innovative, means they have new ideas and they have new thoughts, which are very much necessary for to face their future challenges. They are well equipped for all these activities. Next, they remain engaged in intellectual and social activities. They are always ready to make difference in their environment, in the society, in their surrounding. So these are the, you can say, some benefits of the study of the O level. Next, in the Cambridge system, the subject of biology is divided into 3 papers. First comes the paper 1. This paper is of multiple choice. In this, a statement is given and the 4 options are mentioned there. You have to select one right option which matches the given statement. The second paper is of theory paper. In theory paper, there are some structural questions and some essay type questions. In structural questions, the graphs are given or some diagrams are given, and certain questions are asked which are related to that graph or diagram, and you have to give the answers of those questions. The third type of questions which are present here is the essay type questions. These are similar to those questions which you have attempted in 6th to 7th class and known as the long questions. Mean a statement is given, something is asked about a process or phenomena or some other aspect of living organism, and you have to give the answer of that question in the form of paragraphs of 1, 2 or 3. Means these are lengthy questions. The paper 3 is of practical paper. Here you can see that 2 papers are mentioned. Paper 3 is practical test and the paper 6 is alternative to practical. In Pakistan, we adopt the paper 6. We don't take the paper 3 because in paper 3 we have to perform the practical, but here the environmental conditions and the geographical conditions are different from the England or other countries, so we cannot perform the practical here rightly and precisely, so we adapt the paper number 6, which is the alternative to practical. In this paper, the questions are asked which are related to the practicals, and we have to give the answers of those questions. So this is the brief overview of the subject of biology. and its evaluation method. In our school, the O-level study is divided into 3 years. The first year is known as the C1, the second year is C2, and the third year is C3. In C1, we study all the subjects, means we study physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English, Urdu, Islamiyat, and history and geography. But Cambridge will not take exam in the C1. We will have the home examinations of the school, and we will take exams of all the subjects. In C2, you study all subjects and give the examination of all subjects in first term, but in second term, the Cambridge will take examination of the subjects Islamiyat, Urdu, geography and history. In C3, you are left with only science subjects and English, because you have given the examination of remaining subjects in C2. So in C3, you will study only the mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology and English, and after C3, you will appear in the Cambridge examination of all these subjects. So this is the brief overview of the O-level class and the criteria of study in our school. The syllabus outline is given by the Cambridge for all the subjects. Here is no specific textbook for the subjects. So biology also have no textbook, but the Cambridge has given some syllabus outlines. In that outline, the chapters are mentioned. Each chapter has some content and learning outcomes. We have some reference books which we consult to study all the syllabus outlines which are mentioned in the Cambridge. For our studies, we recommend our students to take this book, Biology Matters, because this covers most of the topics which comes under the syllabus of the biology of the Cambridge of the O-levels system. But we don't remain restricted to this book only. We go for different websites and also we consult different books from the library. What is biology? Now come to our subject, biology. Biology is the study of life. Bio mean life and logy mean study with reasoning. Means we study life, all aspects of life. What is life? What chemical reactions are occurring in the living organisms? What are the chemical composition of the living organism? How living organisms are affected by their environment, and how the environment have an effect on the life of the living organisms. All these things we study under the discipline of biology. All the aspects of life we study under the biology. So first we come that what is life? How can you differentiate between the living organisms and the non-living organisms? Living organisms have some characteristics which are not present in the non-living organisms. So if you want to differentiate between living and non-living, you will find some characteristics which will be absent in the non-living organisms and will be present in the living organisms. We will briefly go through those characters which are known as the characteristics of life. The first one is the nutrition. Nutrition means intake of food, मतलब खाना खाना. All living organisms have intake of food, certain materials which they intake. Plants को अगर हम लें, they need water, they need dissolved mineral salts. And if you look at the animals, तो all the animals take food, खाना खाते हैं वो. They take vegetables, they eat meat, they take water, they take vitamins and all other things. And after the intake of this food material into the body, they use that food material for the formation of the new protoplasm. Protoplasm is the living matter. If you see around yourself, there is a chair. The chair is made up of wood. or some other chairs are made up of metal or plastic. You have table in front of you that is also made up of wood. You have your bag that is made of some type of cloth. You have your books, notebooks, and those books and notebooks are made up of paper. The paper, wood or cloth, these are all the types of matter. Living organisms are also composed of some matter, and the living matter is known as the protoplasm. Living organisms take in food material, and when they ingest it, they convert this food material into simple compounds after digestion and use these simple compounds for the formation of new protoplasm in their body. मीन्स कि वो खाना खाते हैं, अपने अंदर लिविंग इन कंपाउंड्स को, ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स को लेकर जाते हैं और फिर इन ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स को वो यूज़ करते हैं अपनी बॉडी को बनाने के लिए, टू मेक देयर बॉडी टू ग्रो, टू डेवलप, टू इंक्रीज इन साइज. So they make new protoplasm by using this food. The next property is the respiration. The living organisms respire while the non-living organisms don't respire. The respiration is of two types. One is known as the organismic level respiration and the second one is the cellular respiration. Organismic respiration में the organism take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide in the environment. This is also known as the respiration. The second category is the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration में क्या होता है? There is the breakdown of food substances which have been taken in by the organism during the process of nutrition. And after breaking of this food, a certain amount of energy is released. This energy is used by the cells to perform their daily activity, to perform their certain metabolic activities or some other reactions in the body which are vital for the cells to be alive. The third property is excretion. During the process of respiration, while digesting the food material or while performing the other metabolic activities, some waste materials are produced in the body of the living organism. Those waste materials are dangerous for the body. They are harmful. If they are not removed, they produce some disastrous effects on the body of the living organism. So these waste materials must be removed from the body, and the process of removal of metabolic waste products from inside living cell is known as the excretion. So nutrition, respiration and excretion is shown by the living organism. No non-living organism show this property. If a table, a cycle, chair, a pen is present in front of yourself, the pen don't need to take food. The pen don't respire. The chair don't release any waste material. So the living organisms has all these properties and non-living organisms don't show this type of property. The next property is growth. Growth means increase in size, changes in the form and structure. जब आप छोटे थे तो you were very small, but now mashallah you are grown up, you are adult, you are healthy, you have gained height, you have gained width. So this is known as the process of growth. If you have a plant in your home, you can see the plant was very small. Now the plant has gained length, the plant has gained width. If you have a pet in your house, that pet was very small initially, but you are giving your pet the food and that become very healthy and that has grown. So growth is the property of the living organism. The chair of your house is of the size that never changed. वो जैसी थी वो वैसे ही है, ना वो इंक्रीज़ हुई हाइट में, ना वो इंक्रीज़ हुई लेंथ में, ना वो इंक्रीज़ हुई विड्थ में. सो द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स शो द प्रोसेस ऑफ ग्रोथ. द नेक्स्ट इज़ द मूवमेंट. मूवमेंट मीन ability to move body parts or exhibit locomotion. Movement of body parts. If you are sitting on the table, you are moving your head, you are moving your eyes, you are moving your hands, or you are moving your feet. Or if you take the example of a plant, if the wind blows, its leaves move, or you can say that the flowers of the plants open or closes in the day or night time. This is known as the movement. And locomotion means the change of position. If you as a whole move from your bedroom and go into the kitchen to have some food, this is known as the locomotion. If you are at home and going towards your school or going in your class, that is the locomotion. Locomotion means the movement of the organism as a whole, means change in its position. But the movement of body parts is also known as the movement. But in that situation, in that case, your whole body don't move or don't change its location, just the body parts are moved. This again property is shown by the living organisms. Non-living organisms don't move. Reproduction. Reproduction means production of new individuals. This property is very much necessary for the survival of a species. If there is a single organism in an ecosystem and if that organism die, no further offspring or further organism is present to replace that organism. मीन्स अगर कोई एक ही ऑर्गेनिज्म है, एक ही स्पीशीज़ का ऑर्गेनिज्म बच गया है और अगर उसकी डेथ हो जाएगी, इट्स मीन कि दैट वाज द लास्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म. नो मोर ऑर्गेनिज्म इज़ लेफ्ट इन दैट एनवायरनमेंट. मीन्स दैट स्पीशीज़ बिकम एक्सटिंक्ट. अब उसकी जगह लेने के लिए या उस जैसा कोई और ऑर्गेनिज्म उस एनवायरनमेंट में, उस इकोसिस्टम में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता. बट इफ़ द स्पीशी हैज़ टू सर्वाइव, दैट ऑर्गेनिज्म मस्ट रिप्रोड्यूस. उसको अपने जैसी कॉपीज़ प्रोड्यूस करनी है, अपने इंडिविजुअल, अपने जैसे इंडिविजुअल्स, अपने ऑफस्प्रिंग जो हैं, अपने चिल्ड्रन जो हैं, उनको प्रोड्यूस करने हैं. दिस इज़ वेरी मच नेसेसरी फॉर द सर्वाइवल ऑफ द स्पीशीज़. लेकिन अगर आपके घर में कोई भी नॉन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म है तो वो मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होता. इफ़ यू हैव 6 चेयर्स ऑफ योर डाइनिंग टेबल, दैट विल रिमेन 6 थ्रू आउट योर लाइफ unless and until you buy some new chairs. So non-living organism reproduction की properties नहीं show करते. The next comes sensitivity. If you are sitting and your hand touches some hot object, you feel that hotness and you spontaneously remove your hand away from the hot surface. And same if your foot touches some nail, you feel pain and you spontaneously move your feet away from that area. Means you feel the change in the environment. If there is hotness in the environment, you can sense that hotness. आपको perspiration होगी, you will take plenty of water, you will sit under fan or prefer to be in the AC to avoid that the effect of hotness. But if the environment change and there is a winter season, you feel that change in your body. You take some measures according to that environment. आप अपने आप को कवर करोगे. You will take some hot food that you can deal with the changing environment. This is known as the sensitivity. Sensitivity is the ability to detect and respond to changes in the environment. The next property is adaptability. Adaptability क्या है? Ability of organism to change so as to improve its chances of survival. If an organism is living in a desert environment, so the plants and animals of the desert environment have some specific characteristics which are necessary for the survival of those organisms in the desert environment. But if you take the example of some aquatic animal or plants, they have different properties. They have those characteristics which are necessary for the survival of those organisms in that aquatic environment. The properties of the aquatic animal or plant will be different from the properties of the desert environment animal or plant. Means they have adapt differently to survive in that specific their specific environment. This property is known as the adaptability. अपने आप को different environment में ढालना, वो changes body के अंदर develop करना जो कि उनकी help करेंगे, which aid them to survive in that specific environment. So these are some properties of the living organisms which are used to differentiate the living organism from non-living organisms. If we divide the living organisms, we can mainly divide them in two groups. Some organisms are unicellular and some are multicellular. Unicellular organisms are composed of single cell, and multicellular organisms are composed of many cells. But if you see, in all living organisms, the basic unit of structure and function is the cell. Cell, you can say, is the structural and functional unit of living organisms. All the organisms are composed of a single cell or many cells, and the new cells produced from the pre-existing cells. मीन्स के लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म जो होते हैं वो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स से ही प्रोड्यूस होते हैं. If we summarize all this discussion, we come to know that the cell is very much important part of the living organism. So हम बायोलॉजी में सबसे पहला टॉपिक जो स्टडी करेंगे that will be the cell structure and organization. मीन्स के सेल का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है और उसकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्या है, किस तरह की है. बट दिस वी विल स्टडी इन आवर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. अभी तक जो मैंने आपको पढ़ाया उसको थोड़ा सा गो थ्रू होइएगा. वी हैव द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ ओ लेवल क्लास एंड वी हैव इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ बायोलॉजी. इन नेक्स्ट लेक्चर वी विल सी सम डिटेल्स ऑफ cell structure and organization. Sufficient for today. Stay safe, stay healthy and stay at your home. Inshallah we will meet in next lecture. Okay.